would listen to this have been in a world where this hasn't been possible.
Right.
And then we show up and say, hey, here's what's possible. And you're like, no. And then they're like, whoa. It goes from like doubting Thomas to being like, absolutely, give me the torch. We're doing this all day long. So what do we have next? Financial services?
Yeah, financial services. And we've talked to some major financial institutions, and AI fraud detection is huge in having high false positive rates. And that can cause customer friction. I've experienced this myself.
Oh, it sucks.
American Express. Yeah.
Well, yeah. When also think about like facial recognition they did in New York City that was illegally targeting like Muslim people.
Yes.
It's the same sort of thing that happens here in fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's all these ideas of their model, and the data that they've brought in is putting in false flags.
Yes.
Okay, or false positives. And what you're going to find here is that if you ask people, this is cool. If you start to collect data on how people lie or how they would be fraudulent,
yes,
you're starting to train the model. You're starting to see a lot of cool things, but much of the fraud detection stuff deals with time on page, where you're clicking, how you're scrolling, how you're actually interacting with it. But just because of the way I interact with something doesn't necessarily make someone fraudulent.
Yes.
Some people could be inquisitive.
Right.
Sometimes when I use a page that is in like financial services, because I'm inquisitive and looking around, I get marked as fraudulent. Or because I try to use data privacy practices that are good for me, like a VPN, I get knocked. I get blocked. But that doesn't seem right. Again, it lacks that context. So you can actually reduce these false positives. You can get that data from people. You can help them train your systems to be more robust and accurate when something is truly fraudulent.
Yeah, and it's more than just transactional patterns. A lot of this detection accuracy, just the detection accuracy alone, is what's causing the rub or the friction.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's, and some models are as low as 20% accurate.
And then what happens? You frustrated your customers.
80%, 80-20 rule, baby.
Yeah. And how many people actually want to follow up with you after to go through the fact that your model,
flagged the transaction.
Flagged me. Yeah. PayPal does it all the time.
Oh, all the time, bro. They're the worst. I have to deal with them and contractors and stuff
it's completely underdeveloped.
And it's I had it happen this morning. So they wanted my social security number.
Yeah. How many times do I got to give you a social security number?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And I should be permissioning to you when choosing when I give it to you. And if you want any more data to help train your system, ask me for it.
Yes.
Give me a PayPal benefit.
Why am I giving you my social security number for free? You know what I mean? It's the list goes on and on with that. And then let's finally get into some e-commerce.
This is
because we have a lot of online retailers. What's even getting bigger, like TikTok Shop has become this live shopping. It's like QVC. Have you heard about